Hello everyone, welcome to Soul Seekers Tarot and your reading. I'm Corey. So in today's reading we're going to look at your soul speaks to you. What's the message it has for you today? So I'll begin by randomly pulling 3 cards from this deck for you to choose your pile from. And if you feel drawn to more than one pile, then by all means please do. Yep, and use your intuition. And if you can't use your intuition, I'll have dice, like numbers and zodiac signs for you to go by. So welcome, and I hope you're doing well. Excited to get started on this reading for you. Your soul speaks to you. What's the message it has for you today? All right. Okay. Pile 1. We have spread your wings. Confidence that leads to freedom and growth. Okay, pile 1. Spread your wings. Pile 2. We have pay attention. Look out for signs from the divine. Acknowledge red flags. Okay, pile 2. Pile 3. We have putting in the work. Action that helps achieve goals, building the path to success. Alright, there's the 3 piles we have. Now, like I said, if it's difficult for you to use your intuition, I'll give you some numbers. Right, pile 1 is numbers 2 and 5. So 25, 52, or 2, or 5, or even 7 if you add the 2 together. Pile 2 is 1 and 3, so we got 13 or 31, 1 or 3 or 4. And lastly, pile 3 has got 4 and 6. So we got 46, 64, 4 or 6, or add them together you get 10. Alright, that's what we have for numbers. Now, let's get your zodiac sign. Pile 1, that was 4. Pile 2 and pile 3. Okay. Alright. Get myself organized here. So pile 1 zodiacs are Pisces and Virgo, Leo and Taurus. Pile 2, we have the crab. This is Cancer and Scorpio. Gemini and Libra. And finally, pile 3, we have Aries and Sagittarius. Putting in the work. Okay. I don't know why I said that. Okay. And Capricorn and Aquarius. Okay. Interesting. Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, they all come after each other. Oh, and then no Pisces comes before Aries. Okay, so that's what I got for you guys today to answer the question, what the message is. What is the message that your soul has for you today? Because your soul speaks to you all the time. Okay, so I'll be back in just a minute, and take your time. Hi, pile 1. Welcome to your reading. You've chosen the card Spread Your Wings. Confidence that leads to freedom and growth. Okay. Very nice. Spread your wings. So expand, right? Go after what it is that you desire. To help you to expand, of course, your energy in your life as a result, but to make more room for the things that you truly want to experience in your life. So if you didn't choose this through your intuition, as we're going to be talking about your soul speaks to you, what's the message it has for you today? You might have needed to use the numbers and kind of went through them during the introduction. So we have 2 and 5, and if it wasn't that, it's your zodiac signs, and we have Pisces and Virgo, Leo and Taurus. Okay. Alright, so these are the oracle decks that I've chosen for your reading. And so let's begin. Let's find out what the major arcana will be. This one, the devil energy. Holy smokes. So spreading your wings, going all the way, not looking back, just indulging, right? Let's see what's going to clarify the devil energy here for this reading. What's the message it has for you, your soul? Temperance. Oh, I've had this combination before, and it's kind of like it trumps, you know, the Temperance card, which is all about peace and healing and balance, and of course the Devil card most often is about being unbalanced, overindulgent, you know, being obsessed and kind of like toxic energy, toxic thinking, toxic actions, but being obsessed, meaning being attached to things that are not good for us. So it could be like any vice, you know, an addiction of some kind, or person, relationship, just having an obsession over something that's just, it's not adding to your life, it's taken away from your life. But we've got the Temperance card, so it's saying that you're overcoming some kind of addiction or some kind of imbalance, okay? Some kind of imbalance, whether it's through a relationship or a substance that we take. Maybe it's working too much, you know, working way too much and there's not enough balance in your work life, okay, situation. It could be simple as that. Let's go on to the Lenormand to get some more information. We have the Cherry Twilight of the Woman card. Okay. The Cherry Twilight, as opposed to the Lilac Twilight, means that the number here is in a cherry, like a red color, 29. And that's, when you add that up, it comes up to 11. It can be further broken down to 2, but 11 is the master number. But the Twilight number is more of a positive energy, because it'll be a white 29 when it's lilac. When it's cherry, it's that red color, and it's it's more shadowy kind of message for it. I'll read it to you in a moment. Let's go ahead and get some of these oracles. What would like to add to the reading today? Celestial wisdom. Tap into the vast knowledge of the cosmos. The stars are offering you profound wisdom and insight to guide your path. So it says universal knowledge, these are the keywords: universal knowledge, cosmic insight, and divine understanding. Yeah, very good. Very, very good. Thinking with this, you are moving out of toxic thinking, toxic ways of being, behaviors and stuff like that, and finding balance over this. Gaining some balance back in your life, or if you never had it, you're gaining balance. You're able to spread your wings. Confidence that leads to freedom and growth. That's what the Spread Your Wings card is. Confidence. Gaining confidence and overcoming some kind of toxic situation, toxic behavior, way of thinking. And this is helping you tap into the vast knowledge of, you know, universal knowledge, cosmic insight, and divine understanding. You're starting to understand more about who you are from all of this, from this difficult situation that you've been facing. And your soul is saying, you've gone the distance. You've walked the mile. And you're succeeding. You're winning. Denial. Not facing truth, dismissal, refuse to give in, and contradicting. So this is telling us a little bit about the energy you were in. Okay? So that's good. That's what you're coming out of, the toxic energy of denial, not facing the truth, being dismissive, refusing to give in, like not being reticent or being resistant, and contradicting. So someone says white, you say black, just because you can. It's your prerogative and free will, right? But you're starting to come around and be more cooperative, more accepting, more inclusive, seeking more about the truth than not facing it. Now, this is a transition. It's a journey, right? It's not something that we overcome all of our vices in one day or one night. It's not like that at all. It's something that we have to work through and work very hard at if we want to achieve happiness, like long-lasting, enduring happiness, not fleeting happiness. Comes just whenever something good happens, that we get happy about it. You might be happy for an hour, you might be happy for a day, or maybe a month and a year. But after that, the whole luster of the shiny thing, that whatever made us happy, something from the outside that made us happy, it starts to dull. It becomes, it gets to the point where this is not making me that happy anymore. It's like old news or whatever, right? But the inner happiness, the enduring happiness, the happiness that we feel about ourselves inside, from the inside out. Because we get to know, the more we intimately get to know our soul self, right? This is what your soul would say. The more you get to know me intimately, the more you spend time with me, the more you focus and seriously focus your time and energy and your desire and motivation to want to get to know me, your soul, the more you're going to feel happier from the inside out. The more balanced you're going to be, the more healed. You're healing your wounds, childhood wounds, like inner child wounds, anything else, any other kind of wounds, like even some physical aches and pains, mental health wounds, emotional wounds, emotional imbalances. The more you get to know your inner self and really truly pay attention to it like it's really a person, because it's you, right? You're a person. So the more you get to know it, and I say it as a soul because it could be, there's no sex, right? The more you get to know it, the more it is able to expand, like spreading your wings, your angelic wings. It can expand in your life, and as it's expanding in your life, it's expanding your life, which means that it's making you a larger magnet, because it's your soul coming through now, your heart's desires and your mind, your thoughts, the things that you think and the things that you say. It's coming from the soul perspective now. The more and more you allow that to happen, the larger magnet you become of that frequency of attracting all the good things in life that all of us want to experience, which it's not, and it's no longer about having things come to us that's going to make us happy. We're already happy from the inside. We've come to get to understand, the universal truth about who we really are, the divine understanding of what this life is all about and what it's meant for and what our true purpose is. When we start to truly understand that and we buy into it because it feels so right, it sounds and feels very much like the truth, the larger our magnet becomes. But it's because the more that we buy into it, the larger our soul has the ability to shine up through us, from every pore, from inside of us through us out into our circle. As I talk about that a lot, our sphere is like our own little world, that our own little worlds interact with other people's own little worlds. That's our aura, right? The aura that we have, the layers of aura we have around us, our physical energy, emotional energy, our mental energy, and then our spiritual. That's all the layers. So we begin to become more of a light in this world. And light attracts light, like it always attracts always attracts what it's like. Everything attracts what it's like. Darkness will attract darkness, but you become more light than you are in the shadowy energy. Instead, you become more light, and the light will always, light the way for you. It will dispel any darkness. Even people who are still in their shadow energy, they're either you're not going to come across them, or it's going to be simply that they're not going to pay any attention to you. Like, let's say some thugs, right? Some guys are, just walking the streets looking for trouble, and you might be walking down the street all by yourself, and you could be a perfect target for them. And there's other people doing that too, or other people walking with other people. They're not alone. And these thugs, they walk right by you. They don't even see you. And I mean that kind of, it can be in a literal way that they actually don't even see you, because we're on different planes at that point. When you're at a higher level, because you're lighter than the dense energy of 3D, where the shadow is, where darkness is. There's darkness and light, of course, on 3D, but you're rising above that into like fifth dimensional light. You're now so much more, your energy's at that higher dimension that they at the lower dimensions literally cannot see you. It's kind of like the two of you are walking parallel lives, parallel to each other, but this shadow, you can see them, but they can't see you. So in any case, you are becoming someone who is going to be able to avoid a lot of other life's lessons as a result of lightening up. So this, let's get into the woman here, the woman card of the shadowy energy. So with these two being side by side, and this one side by side with this one, it's just the way it worked out. This tells me that you are flying, like coming out of it with your angelic wings. You're starting to look more seriously at what your life is all about, what it's meant for, your purpose, trying to find your purpose. There's been a lot of reasons why you've had to look, that you were looking into, you're finally looking into becoming your best version of yourself. There's a lot of hardships and pain and just pain and feeling judged and feeling neglected and abandoned and not lovable enough. This, all these things, fears, guilt, shame, maybe even grief, grief of having lost one too many people. And even if it's just one person, that would have been one too many people for you in your life, or a pet. So you are now walking into the light, you see, spreading your wings, flying into the light. And we got the two shadow energies right here. Let's find out 29 for the lady in the cherry twilight energy. This is the querent, which would be you, or an old woman. Okay? Querent or an old woman. Whatever it works for you. Some of you might be someone else who's an elderly person. The energy that they're in has not been good energy, and you've been dealing with them, trying to deal with them, and maybe it's like your mother or your grandmother, but let's say your mother, and she's been negative pretty much all of your life, and it has taught you to hide from yourself. It's taught you to hide from yourself because when we try to hide from our parents because they just bring us grief, like they always have a grievance about us, or they're either like a bull in a china store tromping all over your feelings. They don't care about your feelings. This is when they're in their shadow energy. I'm sure there are times they're in their light energy, but when they're in their shadow energy, they basically are taking out whatever is causing them pain on the kids or the spouse. And so you are kind of like, you could have been someone who wanted to avoid that energy of her, okay? And you would go into yourself, hide from the world. And that's the denial of facing the truth, feeling dismissed, and you refuse to cooperate, or, to be cooperative as opposed to being resistant. You refuse to, you're resistant. And so you're not in that cooperating energy. And if your mom says white, you say black. It's kind of like you're not going to agree on anything she says, because you just don't feel like she knows anything. Like as kids, we can be quite we say what we think, right? And we can be quite hurtful and say things like you don't give a right, and you don't know effing anything. You think you know so much, but you don't know an effing thing about me or about whatever, right? Because they're trying to boss you around, they're trying to parent you, but from a more of like a drill sergeant's way of parent. And we can only take so much as kids, and it hurts. It's painful. It's painful to have someone who's always got their eye on you, and they're always looking for the worst in you so that they can say, ha, I knew you were going to do that kind of thing, right? So this is either you or an old woman. This person is careful. It says it's a loving person, gentle, what's that? Gentleness? Yes, gentleness, goodness, and peacefulness. Well, that was surprising. Everything else seems it was and it says in here that the cherry twilight is like the opposite of the lilac twilight. But we've got someone who is careful, a loving person, gentleness, goodness, and peacefulness. Well, hallelujah. I was wrong about that. Good thing I read the book. So here we go. We got someone who is an older person, so wiser and whatever, but it could be that you are in denial about whatever is going on in your life. So this is probably you, you or someone like, well, yeah, I said that already, you or someone like So it is making me having to backtrack a bit, so I have to kind of make some sense out of this now. Not facing the truth, dismissal, refuse to give in, and contradicting. Okay. Well, I'm going to get some clarification about who this woman is. Okay, I want to get some clarification on that before I go any further about the other cards. Okay, let's find out, Archangel Michael. Will you please clarify for us the woman energy here? The gentleness, the quiet one, the loving one. Who is this? Is this our pile one, or is this someone else in their life? The Lovers. Well, that's weird. Okay. The Last Judgment. Okay. Very interesting. Give me a moment to reflect here. The Lovers is a choice. And it's lovers. It can be lovers. Having a choice. And the Last Judgment. Making a decision. Well, this older woman can be also like the Empress energy, because she's older. She's 40 and older, usually, right? Sometimes it's not. You've got some prodigal people around too that are young, older and wiser as a result, because they've lived a lot more life, many more years. They've seen a lot more than people younger than them. So they're wiser, and they may even be they may even be in touch with their inner self, their God, their religion, that they do no harm. They live their life to do no harm. In fact, they give life through their caring, gentle ways, compassionate ways. They give life. They birth new life into people when they share their heart with another person in a very genuine way. It touches people. That's what I'm getting. It touches people in very positive ways. So, you've had a choice. You've had choices. Let's find out if this Lovers has to do with another person or just simply making a choice. Because there was a decision to be made. Answering the call. That's what the decision is. Answering the call. Choice to answer the call or not to answer the call. Let's have a look-see. Okay, we have got the King of Wands. Okay, could be you, pile 1. The Eight of Swords up in their head. I am going to put this down here so that I can have room for... Let's move them over. Sorry, guys. I need some room here. The Eight of Swords up in the head, self-imposed prison. Knight of Swords, fastest moving energy about truth. The Fool. The Hangman. Nine of Wands under the Eight of Swords. The Hermit. Ten of Cups. Strength card. Have you seen these? Now I gotta move things up. Oh yeah, can't see it up there. Okay. The Fool twice. What the heck? I didn't realize there was a Fool twice in this deck. Death. The High Priestess. Let's see. The Four of Pentacles and the Four of Swords with the Three of Pentacles. We'll pull it out. But there, we've got them all now. Let's have a look. Okay, Archangel Michael. Let's find out. Is this Lover's card have to do with our pile 1 hooking up with somebody who's been hooked up with somebody who's in the King of Wands energy? Who's the King of Wands? Let me get this. Who's the King of Wands here, Archangel Michael? Your soul obviously has a very important message for you because it's not clear. Who's the King of Wands? Knight of Hedgehogs, which is the Knight of Pentacles. Somebody moving slowly. Someone taking their time. Someone taking their time. Tell me about the Lover's card. Is it between two people or is it a decision to be made? Simply about a decision being made. The Moon. So trying to gain some clarity. Okay, the Lovers is about making a decision, and the Moon is about things being hidden and not clear. Like denial, okay? Being in denial, even in the devil energy, it's kind of like the devil is so strong and powerful in the sense that it wants to cloak you from being able to see the truth. So it wants to keep you in this energy of not seeing the truth, denying what is your truth. And your truth might be that you are someone, do I dare say, that you are someone who is, I'm just the messenger, that you are someone who is seeing, feeling out your, okay, I don't know how to put it, but feeling out your sexuality. Coming to terms with your sexuality. Like you might be gay, right? You might have an attraction to the same sex. Knight of Hedgehogs. And this is you. You're the King of Wands. In the King of Wands energy, it doesn't mean that you're a man. It can mean that you're a woman in the King of Wands energy, because if you're gay, I'm just making assumptions here. Please don't, send me any hate mail or anything like that. But if you're gay, there's usually one partner who's more in the masculine energy. Usually, right? And I wouldn't say it's always, but take it how it resonates, as they say. But yeah, this is interesting. I don't think I've ever had to do this before. But there's nothing else I can see that it's going to work out. So if this is not your reading, pile 1 isn't your reading because you're not, in that, don't have those kind of motivations, sexual motivations, then you might want to try one of the other piles. But yeah, King of Wands energy. Things have been moving slow for you because you've been in denial. But it's kind of like you've got a strategy now with the Knight of Pentacles. You've got a strategy now that there's something going on in your life, pile 1, that's making you feel like you need to, as they say, come out of the closet. If you've already come out of the closet, it's like you're feeling as though it's okay for you. Maybe you've moved to an area, or you live in an area where it's not looked down upon, really. I mean, I don't have any problem with it. But there's places like around the world, right? And one of the places here would be, I imagine, I don't know, New York, and maybe Miami, but maybe Los Angeles, or I would say San Francisco, right? So maybe you live in those areas or nearby where you feel like it's okay for you to take off the mask, as they say, right? Because if you have been feeling the urges of not being attracted to the opposite sex, but rather to the same sex, it's like it's been very confusing to you as a younger person. It had been very confusing to you. It caused a lot of chaos and conflict in your life with your family, friends, and maybe some opposite sex partners. There was a lot of there was just a lot of things where, again, it might have not been that you had to become the wise one, to be able to seek the answer from within, seeking the answer within, because otherwise you were in denial of what it would be, because you know the story of other people that have come out of the closet, and that they've been ridiculed and treated very, very badly, and you having the inkling that you might be like that was kind of like scary to you, right? And so you tried to hide. I would say probably a lot of same-sex gay people are often confused in the beginning and questioning themselves, because they find themselves looking at the same-sex peers, And why are we having these feelings about the same sex? And it could be like, oh my God, what's the matter with me? There's something wrong with me. You know, that kind of stuff, right? But you had to go within. And I have a feeling that this is I'm talking to somebody who is wiser beyond your years. Just what I said. Remember, there's some prodigal people. Wiser beyond your years because of the life situation you face every day, knowing that you're not heterosexual. Yeah. And I'm not trying to say that that's such a big thing, that it's really screwed you up and it interferes with and every part of your life and stuff like that. I'm not saying that. It could have, but I'm not saying that that's something that you're solely focused on. And pardon the pun with the soul. It's not something that you're solely focused on. It's not like it's a 9-to-5 job for you that you have to somehow figure out how to be, gay, homosexual in your world, in your life, and be safe and be okay, like that. It's just something, maybe you've got some questions about it, and you're wiser beyond your years because you have let's say you have ridden with the devil. You have danced with the devil about this, going back and forth about, I'm a sinner, I don't believe in that stuff, but I hate that word sin, okay? But a lot of people do believe in it, okay? They use it. I'm a sinner, I'm the worst of sinners, I'm this, that, and the other thing. And it just threw you out of whack. You were totally in conflict, inner conflict with yourself, which meant that your world was kind of in conflict, in denial, of what was really your truth. What was your truth? And that you started seeking God. You started seeking the higher one for some kind of comfort and answers that could bring comfort. And you may not have been getting the answers that you were wanting to get. And so therefore you were you're pursuing in the King of Wands energy a way that was going to be a journey for you with the Knight of Pentacles energy, because it's slow and steady, right? It's going to be a journey for you, but you were willing to pursue it because you had questions. But those questions sometimes led you to actually be put up in your head about it. That maybe weren't hearing what from your inner self, or just the intuitive hits. Now, if you're wiser beyond the means, you have a lot of intuition. You are tapped in. You're tuned in, tapped in, and turned on to your highest self. To the one that has all the guidance and answers you could ever seek. And solutions, by the way. Solutions, and those solutions are eternal solutions. They solve problems for an eternity that you never face again. So yeah, you were thrown into the Eight of Swords energy, and you may still be at times, right? Go back and forth with that. But it also, because you were seeking and you're on the journey, finding the balance and the healing, the temperance because the angels are going to be with you. Your soul is speaking to you. Your soul speaks to you. What's the message it has for you today? So you might have been saying, okay, I've got this, might have been feeling a little bit more flamboyant or voyeuristic or something, and you said, okay, I'm seeking knowledge and I'm going for it. I'm going to find the truth. Find the truth. I don't care what I have to jump off of, take a leap in or a faith in. I'm going to find the truth. I'm on a mission. I'm on a new page about who I am. Who I am, who I've decided to no longer deny. I have decided to find the clarity I'm seeking by answering the call. And this call might be like spreading your wings, right? Being confident that leads to you to freedom and growth. Answering the call of your desires, right? the call of your desires, the call of the one that's in us, the God within us, that's asking us to be who we are, to be our true selves, and to love them, to love that true self, to love the one that we have become or have came into this world as. And so if you're someone who is someone who has come into this world, you know, with a different sexual identity or gender identity than what you feel, then there's definitely a huge calling for you, a purpose in your life to accept who you are by accepting others as well. But you are going to have to accept yourself, and I believe that you're doing that. You're doing that. So you stepped off the ledge and took a leap of faith in it and started to live your life as though you are the person that you feel like you are. Right? The one that you feel from the inside out who you are. And kudos, holy cow. This is beginning to help you see that you do have a purpose in life, in the sense that you've got a better understanding of who you are, which means, why would anyone ever want to, like, if you ever had that question, why would anyone ever want to come in as a, let's say, a female gender, but feel like a man or boy or whatever? Why would anyone ever choose to do that? Have you ever asked yourself something like, maybe instead of saying I chose it, it's just that, because a lot of people say that, a lot of people believe that it just happens. We come in, we don't have any choice over the matter. Of course, I don't believe in that at all. I believe we have complete choice, decisions. We have the desire to choose a particular life and its situations, its events, circumstances, situations, relations, through relationships, right? And first relationship is always with ourselves. That we choose those at a much higher level that is not the conscious level that we have here on the 3D realm. Okay, it's at the much higher level that we've made those choices and said we're going to come in and be. I really like being a masculine energy, but I'm going to come in and be in a female body this time, or vice versa, right? Because what kind of spiritual growth and development will come from that, right? Holy cow, by the end of your time here, you know, if you live to old age, you'll be able to sit on your bed and say, it was definitely a ride, but I made it, you know? It was a ride and I made it. I did it. I lived my truth. I allowed myself to be my truth in the company of others. I found the place where I belonged. I lived my life to the best and fullest I could because I started to accept myself. Right? I started to accept myself. And that's where you decided, I'm going at this full throttle. It's going to take me a while. It's a journey. But I'm going to succeed because the Knight of Pentacles always crosses the finish line. Someone that is committed to the cause, someone that can be trusted. So you are someone who is going to commit to your cause, and you can trust yourself, of course, because you're in touch with the divine, celestial connections, right? You have angels all over this with you, walking with you, helping you to, first of all, find your wings, but to spread them now. You've already found them. You're spreading them. They're asking you, the soul is asking you to spread your wings even further, go more confident. That leads to further freedom and growth for you in your life, so that when you're on your deathbed or whatever, you're able to say, I did it. I lived my life. Okay? So, going forward in that truth, you know, to seek, you know, you were put, the divine held you captive. I say that in a very non-literal way, but in a loving way. They put you upside down. The divine had made you feel stuck, made you feel like you were sacrificing your happiness because you were going forward in your truth. Okay, let's just put it this way. if you were not going forward in your truth, you would be making other people happy, possibly. You'd be making other people happy, your family, maybe some other friends, co-workers who have things against that. Pardon me. You were making other people happy, but you weren't. You weren't happy. And the divine said, oh no, none of that. That's not happening with my person, pile number one. That's not happening with my pile number one. Oh no, we're gonna hang you upside down so you can have a really good peek at for as long as it takes to sacrifice the idea that you should sacrifice. New perspective, right? Sacrifice the idea that you should sacrifice, because whenever you don't sacrifice that sacrifice, you're in the Nine of Wands. Do you follow that? Whenever you live for others and not for your true self, you are holding yourself back, because the denial again, right? You're holding yourself back from moving forward in your life happy, right? You're not happy when you're in denial. You're not happy. And this is the wounded warrior. It's like you're battle torn because you were like torn between should I or shouldn't I? The lover's idea, right? Should I, shouldn't I answer the call to who I truly am? And now I say truly am, I say that in the sense that gender specific or sexual identity, sexual pursuing desires, whatever sex you are attracted to, that if that's your true self in the world of form, because we're bodies, right? Let's say you're a woman, but you are more of the masculine energy. You're more of the masculine energy. So you've got this woman's body, but you're attracted to other women. Well, those are bodies. There's two people. It's a person and a person, right? Person and a person. You're living in the 3D world in form as a person and a person. So that in your 3D world, that's your truth. But your true truth above that is that you're not even a physical being. You're the soul. You're the soul. You're the highest. Okay? You're the God within. But that's neither here nor there. We're talking about how you are living your 3D truth. That you have sexual attractions to the same sex. That's your 3D truth. Okay, so you just like, let's say somebody who is just a man and a boy growing up, and his parents want him to be a doctor. And so he goes on to medical school and gets educated and all of that. And just before he's got to write his exams, he says, I can't do this. I can't even stand the sight of blood. He probably would have found that out a lot sooner. But he doesn't want to be a doctor. He's not living his truth. He's living someone else's truth. It's the same thing, except there's just a lot more, angst hanging on people who want to have same-sex relationships than someone who just doesn't want to be a doctor. They'd rather be a skateboarder or a surfer or something like that, right? Okay, so a lot of battles, battle torn because of all the, all the shite you've been through already. The Hermit, but the good thing about it is that it may have taken you some years, some moments, some hours, some days, some months might have seen you at rock bottom. Maybe you were out drinking and having a good time with your comrades, whatever, and you just got really, really drunk, and you ended up, going home and feeling really emotional about not being able to dance with that same-sex person that you found really attractive at the bar because it wouldn't have been seen as acceptable. You might have gotten a lot of feedback, nasty, unwanted feedback, when all you want is, to live happily ever after. So hitting the bottom of the barrel is like the dark night of the soul, where you were forced to look for the light. The light that you are, you had to seek it. You sought it. You found the moon to help you to bring, you looked at the moon to help you to bring clarity to whatever it was that you were not seeing because you were not in the acceptance of who you were. You were just more like in the, you're in the research phase of it. Doesn't mean that you're fully on board with it, but you're in the research phase of it. But you just want to have a normal, happy ever after life, and to you normal would be with the person that, the gender that you're interested in, right? And that should be normal for y'all, and it's just like it's normal for me. I'm interested in men. That's normal for me. But of course, when other people are looking at you from the outside, they'll say that's not normal. But who cares? It is normal to you. That's what you want. That's what you feel, is you want to have a household, maybe some kids, with somebody who just happens to be in the same kind of body that you're in, gender. It's about finding the strength, no longer holding yourself back in denial, but facing the lion and taming the ego of fear. Fear of, what if I come out and I've basically forced myself out, which would be not asking, but telling people, this is who I am. You take it or you leave it, you accept it or you don't accept it. It's neither here nor there for me. This is who I am. I'm living my life. I'm going to have this come hell or high water, right? So the strength of you taking another leap of faith into the arms of love, right? Transforming your whole life situation, end up where you're going to be on the deathbed, and not because this says death, but just what I'm talking about, that you're going to be able to look back on your life and you say, I did it, I made it. The High Priestess is here. Remember how I told you that you're so, because you're living a life that is in our world, because there's worlds upon worlds upon worlds upon worlds. But in this world is all I know right now. All I know. In this world, you are facing like quite a lifetime, a life's lesson, many lessons, with coming in with the masculine energy, living as a female, or vice versa. Okay, so you are definitely in tune with, when you seek to spread your wings and you've got angels and you're seeking that healing, temperance, that balance, where you're no longer in denial, you're accepting yourself. You are the one that I said is more like the prodigal person who is answering the call, making that judgment to decide to be who you truly are in this world. You're the one who's wiser than your years. You are tapped into your highest self. You are seeing yourself through the veil. You're seeing who you really are, like who you truly really are. Truly really are. You're seeing who you truly really are, and its mission, its reason for why you need to become who you really are, which is the person who is in the same body as someone you're attracted to, same gender as you're attracted to. You're tapped into that, and because of that, you are able to hold on to what it is that you've been able to gain from what you have this risk to achieve. You put risk out there by, really investigating yourself. Really looking in to see who you really are. You've gained. You are more than this body, but at this body level, you are someone who is attracted to the same gender. So, yeah. So this is like, you have been able to hold on to what it is that makes you you, okay? Makes you you, and it makes you know that all your mental faculties are in order. You are someone who is able to say that what I've got is good. Look at me. I'm looking at this. I'm cherishing it. I'm valuable to me. This is you looking at what you have as the person that you are in this world, in this 3D world, and that you're a very worthy and valuable person, just as you are. You don't have to be something for someone else. The Four of Swords is like you seeking even more healing, but making sure that whatever times that you need for you to be able to be out in public, or, you know, whether that's at work, being around people who either don't know or know what you desire, and not that any of it's their business, but you are going to be seeking, you may be even spending time in meditation with the Four of Swords to try to stay as much in touch with who you really are, that, you know, beyond the veil, right? Who you really are, with for that guidance, that protection, and that comfort, which is healing. That you're going to do that. You're going to spend time, even if you have to do it while you're sleeping, in dreams. You're going to be tuned in, tapped in, and turned on for further guidance and further comfort right here with the Four of Swords, because you're going to now be collaborating instead of being contradicting or refusing to give in. You're going to be collaborating with your life. You're going to be working with your life, which means you're going to work with others, and you're going to show up being who you are. You're going to show up being who you are in this 3D world of form. I am a woman with a masculine energy that's attracted to other women. Or I'm a man with feminine energy attracted to other men. You may not even be with the feminine energy either. You might even be like a man that's very masculine, but you still have the attraction to the same sex. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're a gender with the opposite energy in you. That what matters is that it's what you desire. What is your preference? You know, what's your sexual preference? That's what matters. But you're going to be out there. You are probably already doing this, but it's going to become easier and easier for you, because the more you, especially if you move into an area that is more accepting of gay relationships, right? It's gonna be even that much easier. But if you can't do that, it's about you being your truth. No matter how people react, whether you're cut out from your family's inheritance, or they won't speak to you ever again, or you got friends that really turned out to not really be friends because they can't accept the fact that you have an attraction to the same sex. You know, whatever it is, the job you work at is. You know, they have their issues with that too, and they make it known, that kind of thing. So you're going to be fierce about it. You're going to go forward and say, you know, to hell with everybody else. I got to know who I am. And when I find out who I am, I'm going to be that person, because I have every right just like anyone else. I will be that person. So, guys, this was very, very challenging for me to do, because, like I said, I've never done a reading before that dealt with same-sex partners. Okay, so not that I'm talking about your partner here in any way, shape, or form, but I hope that I've done you some justice. I really do hope I've done you some justice. And I wish the best for you, and, you know, I'm so happy for you that you're finding your strength to take those risks and be who you really are, in love with yourself. The Ace of Cups. You get in love with yourself, and if you haven't found somebody already to share that love with, it's coming. That's what this says. Because, and this, you know, this whole journey that you're going through is life transforming. I mean, I'm sure you would say, yeah, well, yeah, duh, of course it is. I'm changing everything that I said I was to being someone that not many people will want to accept. But you just keep going forward, being truthful to yourself. That's the message that your soul has for you, that's speaking to you at all the time. What's the message it has for you today? Your message is to keep seeking the truth of who you are, and be your truth. Because as you allow yourself, accept who you really are, other people start having to just get on board with it. Just simply get on board with it. And if they don't want to get on board with it, they just fall off the side of your life, and you don't have to have anything more to do with them. And if it's too much of a problem at work for you, then you might look at, first of all, speaking your truth to your employer about it to see if they can somehow make it work for you there, or leaving. Speak your truth to your employer anyways and leave. Either or, right? So this is what I have for you today, and I hope it was helpful in a really justified way. Thank you so much for your time and for watching this video. Bye for now. Hi Pile 2. Welcome to your reading. You have chosen Pay Attention. Look out for signs from the divine. Acknowledge red flags. Signs from the divine are red flags as well. Okay, so we're answering the question about your soul speaks to you. So what's the message it has for you today? Boy, Pile 1 was a doozy. Holy mow. It was something that challenged me that I'd never had to read for before. So yeah, you might be interested in it. But anyways, I just came out of a doozy. So if it's not your intuition that you chose your pile, it was with numbers 1 and 3. Okay, and if it's not that, it's your zodiac. We have Cancer and Scorpio with Gemini and Libra. Okay, so let's start with the major arcana to find out what is going on with Pay Attention. Look out for your signs from the divine. Acknowledge red flags. Archangel Michael. Thank you. Holy cow, this one wants to come out. The Lovers. Red flags. Yep. Okay. Then let's get some tarot to clarify. What's the Lovers about? The energy as it pertains to paying attention to the red flags. Justice. Very interesting. Okay. Let's get Lenormand. Lenormand. Archangel Michael. What do we have for Lenormand? Cherry color. Cherry twilight of the moon. Something has not been clear. Okay. Something's not been clear. We've got the higher self. Oracle. Overcome obstacles. Okay. And this one, last one. Truth, expression, new perspective, seeing the truth, clear action, honesty, and communication. Okay. So, something hasn't been clear, right? You're supposed to see the truth rather than, gain a new perspective, see the truth. Clear action. When you got the moon, you got to clear things up. Honesty and communication. So something hasn't been clear. Somebody may be trying to pull the wool over your eyes, or they just have, they've been doing something that is causing you to, pay attention, right? And that just came out without me even looking at this card, to pay attention, right? Lovers, right? Could literally be that you're engaged with somebody, and I don't necessarily mean engaged as in getting married, but you could be. And the Justice card, some balance, finding some balance. That something has to be justified. Something's got to become fair. Something needs to be balanced in this love relationship. Okay, so overcoming obstacles. It's your higher self is saying. Overcoming obstacles. Okay, so let's read number 32. I made the assumption, well, it wasn't, because I read it in this book here, that the lilac is more of the light like the non-shadowy kind of energy, lilac twilight. And I say that because when it's a lilac twilight, this number 32 would be in white. And that's, to me, when I read it, I understood that it's more of the less shadowy energy, the more positive energy, where the cherry twilight is more of the shadowy energy. And so we have the moon here in more of a shadowy energy, the number 8, which is, could be about love, but it's prosperity and abundance. So number 32 we've got here. Oh yeah, I was telling you how I made that, how I understood it to be, but in pile 1 it turned out that the card I was reading for, as I thought it was a shadow energy, so a shadow description of the woman card, it came out to be quite positive instead of it being more shadowy. In fact, the lilac version of that same card was positive as well, so I didn't know, I can't make that assumption now. So 32 is the moon, and we're reading the cherry twilight one. This is illusion, danger of going wrong, meeting with an unknown, an evil place. Well, that sounds very shadowy to me. Let's read the lilac one. Intuition, reflections, rich inner world, mysticism, reliance on tradition, and burden of the past. So it's got a little bit of shadow in it, but barely any compared to this cherry one. Just illusion, danger of going wrong, meeting with an unknown, an evil place. Illusion. So something's an illusion to you. Someone is coming across to you with a mask on. Danger of going wrong. So it could be that the relationship is in danger of going south, going down a spiral, going wrong. Well, let's get some more information. Let's pull up the cards. Pay attention. Look out for signs from the divine. Acknowledge red flags. So again, it's about what message your soul has for you today that it wants you to hear today. And it knows you could use this message today. It's always looking out for your well-being, happiness. And protecting you. So we have the Tower, which is a reckoning. Something's coming, something's breaking down, something's dissolving, something's crumbling. Knight of Coins. Nine of Pentacles. 3 of Swords, deep emotional pain. 9 of Swords. Mental anguish. If you're not sleeping well at night, right? It's going to catch up to you. Mental weariness. So 8 of Wands is gaining a momentum, swift progress, alignment, communication. Let's see, there's communication here. Things take off, movement, and air travel. The Queen of Swords, mentally strong. The 10 of Swords, the final chapter, dead end. Death, wow, talk about the final chapter and then death. Woohoo, right beside it. Holy cow. 2 of Swords, not wanting to make a decision to see the truth, but with the card showing up, it says, the divine says you've got to. Wheel of Fortune, decisive moment, chance, life cycles, destiny, karma. The Sun, yeah, love it. 10 of Pentacles, a family legacy. Wow. And then on the back, we've got the 5 of Wands, the 2 of Coins, and the Ace of Cups. And we'll bring out the Strength. We got the High Priestess and the Ace of Swords and so forth and so on. We don't need them. Okay. What we got here, guys? We got the Tower. So, something is crumbling. Something's coming down, and it's coming down fast because you're being 10 of Swords, right? You're being betrayed. There's an obstacle in your way to your happiness and feeling like you are in a very loving, devoted, and truthful, meaningful relationship with somebody. to pull those words out of me. Yeah. Truthful, meaningful relationship with someone. There's a great big mountain in the way right now, and it has something to do with your person not communicating to you in a truthful manner. They're not being honest. You can't, their behavior is, it's like they say one thing but do the other. So they say they love you, of course you're the only one they love, and then they spend more time with telling you that they have to work late, or that they're spending time with their buddies, going out hunting, or to the shooting range, or to ball games, or just going over to a buddy's place and saying we're going to be watching the ball, football. And, watching football takes 3-4 hours or more, or whatever, because it depends how many games are on. But in any case, it's like you eventually find out. You have eventually found out, because you've been paying attention, that they're not only not where they say they are all the time, and that when they aren't where they say they are, that you have to assume they're screwing around on you, right? And that it is like all this this secrecy and hiding and just not things being in the shadows kind of thing has caused you to lose trust and faith in your person. And without having completely confronted them about it yet, it's coming. If you haven't confronted them yet, justice is going to prevail. You're going to find balance, because you're going to be able to find out that there is true love for you that's going to be justified. It's going to be fair. It's going to be that's your karma. That's your dharma. That's what you get, the reward. Their karma is that you may be taking this relationship between you and your person to the courts, to have legal separation, divorce, or just justify it by leaving them or telling them to get out, that kind of thing. So it's coming, it's going down, it's crumbling. Your relationship is crumbling because there is a lack of truth, there's a lot of deception, and things being unclear as to whether or not you should be with this person, or if they are saying what they say they're doing. I mean, it's kind of like you have to run after them, because they'll say, I'm going to, Bob's place, we're going to watch football with the buddies, there's going to be about 5 or 10 of us there, and I'll be there probably most of the night, I won't be home till late. Well, then you got to go and check up on them. It's like running after them like a kid, you got to check up on them, because you're not sure that they're actually where they say they are, that they're doing what they say they're doing. So this Knight of Coins energy here is like you've got to find a way to defend yourself from being lacking the discernment of knowing what to do and when to act on it. You are taking steps. You have it planned to take steps. And if that means you actually have to follow your partner to see if they're going exactly where it is that they say they're going, that's one of your strategies, okay? But you have to defend yourself, meaning you have to defend your well-being and your happiness. Because do you really want to be with somebody who's not being truthful and faithful to you, who's betraying you? You might say, yeah, we can overcome it, our marriage can overcome it, or our relationship can overcome it, and that's wonderful. So you have to have some kind of strategy in place for you to be able to live with that, to be able to deal with it, cope with it. And it might mean that either it's you and your partner are going to couples therapy, or just you going to couples therapy. So you're saying, my person is having extramarital affairs, but I know they don't love them, that they love me, then I don't want to leave them. And we got kids, we got a home, we got all this, that, and the other thing, and I'm, who knows, maybe I'm 85 years old. I'm just kidding. But you might be thinking that way, which is fair enough. It's your life after all. Thinking that way. But you got to find a way to be able to be happy with the knowledge that your guy is going out there, your guy or your girl is going out there and engaging in sexual intercourse with others, that they might be bringing home to you. And if they are protecting themselves, how do you know that for sure? You just have to have trust in that too. So you have to cope with the lot. You have to figure out how to live with the lot of not knowing something. You don't know if they're going to be using a condom or some other kind of birth control or whatever. You don't know if these are people that are, they could be people of the night, sex workers. They could be somebody from their job, a co-worker. You don't know how safe the person is that they're having these clandestine meetings with. Stuff like that. So it could be putting you and your family, your kids, your home, and everything else at risk if they are getting involved with people that, like, what's that show, Fatal Attraction? Yeah, where the one that he had the affair with came to his house and put their bunny in a boiling pot of water on the stove to let him know that she's there and that she means business when it comes to, I want you. You need to get rid of your wife. Fatal Attraction. So anyways, this is, like I said, you have to find a way to be able to cope because it's heartbreaking. But if you're the person who says, oh, hell no, if they cheat on me, that's it, then, still, you're heartbroken, and it's been causing you to lose sleep at night because you're not only thinking about it during the day, you're taking it to bed with you at night. It's very, very stressful. It's very, very emotionally damaging, and it's also very, very, it's destructive to your whole sense of self-esteem and confidence and love for yourself. Like, can you like yourself if you're going to allow someone to remain in a relationship with you? Can you like yourself? That's very important. I mean, that's number one. Can you like yourself? And so if you're somebody who says, oh no, I'm much more valuable than being with somebody who doesn't treat me as though I'm valuable, that I'm an option to them, then you're the one who's going to allow this to go to the courts, right? But in any case, you may need to seek some outside help, if not inner help, talking to your soul, right? Your soul speaks to us. Your soul speaks to you all the time, right? The message from your soul today could be that if you cannot feel as though you can gain enough comfort and control over your emotional pain from seeking inner guidance and praying to God, by all means continue to do that, but also seek some outer assistance and guidance and comfort. See? Even if you have a really close friend who will bring you comfort over the night. And I'm not saying somebody you're going to have a sexual relationship with, but just somebody who you can go to and you can trust, and they're going to be there to comfort you and maybe, hold you on the couch, while you watch a movie or a TV or something, or while you cry, or just hugs you and reassures you with their words and their physical presence and their caring, compassionate ways, that you're going to be okay. We'll get you through this. They might say, we'll get you through this. Don't worry. That can be very, very emotionally uplifting for someone. But it's going to be fast movement forward with Queen of Swords energy. You are sharp and on the ball, and you don't have to be a woman in the Queen of Swords energy. Sharp and on the ball. You are not taking anything for granted. You are looking at all the red flags. You are saying, my motivation is to make sure I am aligned with what it is that I want to experience, and if that means I want to be happy from the inside out and I can't do it with someone who's cheating on me, then I must communicate that, even if it's in an angry manner, but a controlled angry manner, not someone who's flinging a cast iron frying pan around and boinking the person over the head with it. No, in a controlled angry manner, right? I found out that you've been doing this, that you haven't been where you said you've been. You've been doing this for a long time, and you've betrayed me. You might say some choice words, stuff like that. I would say not, but don't, because you don't want to create any karma that you have to pay off, right? That you got to pay off. They're creating enough karma for themselves that they're going to end up having to be bit in the butt by it, pay off. But the Queen of Swords is somebody who is going to take a marriage and become the divorcee or the divorcer, whichever way you want to look at it. But the Queen of Swords is the Queen, and King of Swords are usually people who are divorcing. They're breaking up. They're not in agreement with each other. Ten of Swords, that betrayal, with the end, that being the final chapter. It's a dead end. It's a breakdown with the Tower here. Divorce, it's backstabbing, it's ruin, it's rock bottom, and it's failure. So you are putting an end to that chapter in your life. The divine is coming in and saying, there's no more of that. We know your heart better than you know your heart. And so if you need to live with it, then you need to do something to learn how to continue to love yourself and to learn to be able to say to yourself, I'm worthy of happiness. So that if you need to live with it, like I said, the one who says, I'm not going to leave, our relationship is too strong, we'll overcome it, they don't love them anyways, it's just a fling and a one night thing, and he always comes or she always comes home to meet. If you're okay with that, then you got to find a way. The divine's saying the way that you have been dealing with it, possibly by not putting up some healthy boundaries with your person, and saying things like having the sexual contact, the intercourse, right, situation. What are they bringing home to you? Or what could they be bringing home to you? It could be a fatal attraction thing. So you have to put some healthy boundaries in place so that they know what you'll accept and what you won't accept as long as they get to play. If they'll get on board with your stuff as long as they can continue to play, but they're going to follow and abide by your rules to some extent, right? So that's what the divine is saying. You got to come in and you got to put an end to some things by erecting or establishing some healthy rules for your person, and that will in itself transform your life, and it'll blissfully lead you into moving forward in your life, knowing that your girl or guy is doing this, but you're okay with it because you have an understanding. You both have an understanding because you've enforced it, saying, okay, I know this is what you've been doing and that you haven't been where you've been saying you've been going, and I know that that's what you've been doing, right? I love you, I know you love me, and they're saying, yes, I love you, it's really nothing, I don't know what it is about me, I have to do this, that, another thing, right? And so you say, I know you love me, and we got our family here, we've got our kids, and they don't need to know anything. I will be okay with what you're doing as long as you do this, that, and the other thing. And there's no breaking those rules. No breaking those rules. And I can happily live my life, being married to you, staying with you, having our family and all that, till death do us part, as long as you follow those 3 simple rules, or whatever they are. Okay? That's what the divine is asking you to do. Because otherwise, you're going to be in emotional turmoil, and you're not going to have that kind of control over it that you need to have to be able to find that sense of balance, not only balance, but confidence and happiness, that your guy or your girl still loves you dearly and still wants to have intercourse with you as well, but they're also doing it with someone else. That you can be okay with that. Because you've talked to them, you told them what you're going to accept and what you won't accept. So then the Two of Swords is now if this is the people who say, I'm not, I'm leaving, this is going to go to the courts, right? That's the divine is helping you make that decision, and you will be transforming your life as a result. Too, you become a happier person because you're going to be coming together with somebody who is going to justify you, to make it clear to you that you are just as worthy as anyone else to be loved, right? And to be loved in a way that is faithful. So the Two of Swords here is frozen with indecision. The divine wants you. You need to make a decision about this, which way you're going to go. Stay in the marriage, but enforce those healthy boundaries and seek outside advice. As long, if you can't, go inward and pray and receive all your comfort and answers and guidance from within, seek outside help, comfort and clarification. If you are, what was I saying? Yeah, just making a decision that you need to do that to be able to find that kind of happiness, to be happy. If you're going to leave the person and that, then you may still need to have some outside comfort if the inside comfort, the connection you have with your soul, which is God, isn't enough for you, then you may need some help to get you over the hump kind of thing. But either way, it's your destiny to be experiencing, to be facing what you're facing right now. It's your destiny, because there's better things on the horizon for you. And for the person who is staying in their marriage and accepting what is, with those healthy boundaries and you seeking that outside help, it's going to help make you feel supported, and therefore you're not always going to be in the dark. You're not always going to be in the dark. You'll be overcoming any obstacle that you have about not knowing, because you've put some rules in place. Okay? You are like the master here now. You're taking charge and taking control. But yeah, it's destiny, and it's because of that good fortune your way. If you can happily live with your person who's cheating on you, but not really cheating on you anymore because you know about it and you're accepting it. If you can happily move forward with that, like, kudos for you. Good job. I respect that a lot. I also respect the person who says, I can't deal with that. And so it's the end. I totally respect that too. But either way, there's going to be a whole lot of good times yet. Healing, sunshine, enlightenment. You're going to see things so much more clearly. What just happened? No, it's a light. I don't know what happened. But you're going to be seeing things so much more clearly than you had before, because A, you're getting rid of the person. You're going to divorce, and I say that with kindness. Sensitivity, as much as a Sagittarian does. Or you are going to be, seeing things more clearly because you've got the boundaries in place. Okay? So sunshine and happiness, healing and growth, right? That's paying attention. Look out for the signs from the divine. Acknowledge red flags. So because you're looking at the red flags and you're dealing with them, it's a 10 of coins. It's like the top of the echelon of abundance moving forward. 10 of coins. It's wealth. It's lineage. It's maybe buying a home with someone else or by yourself, because if you're divorcing, you get the money out of the house that you're selling to have your own house. But you're going to be very happy. Very, very happy either way you do it. You're going to be okay. The inner conflict you're going to have is only when you decide to juggle the idea of your happiness over their happiness. The Five of Wands will always be a conflict for you, inner conflict, if not a conflict with your person, if you decide to juggle your happiness with their happiness. See how your happiness is behind your back? Their happiness is what you're serving up by not looking at the red flags, by not paying attention and dealing with it, with the Death card here. Dealing with it. Either way, whether you decide to stay with them or you're going to divorce them, it's going to be like, I'm loving myself because I'm going to be taking charge and taking control of matters. It's a situation. Because this finding the clarity that I need, paying attention, looking for the signs from the divine or acknowledging the red flags is bringing me a sense of control. Control and strength. Facing the lion. You know, the ego of fear, the one that wants to keep your happiness at bay. It's always there, but it's not quite within your reach. That's the ego, the lion. Okay, so you're going to be taking charge, taking control of your own happiness by dealing with it in those ways. If you choose to deal with it, particularly for the one who is deciding to live with the person, stay with them, if you choose to deal with it in the way that the divine has its calling for you to do so, you're going to find this happiness, this strength and comfort. You're going to be happy, right here. You're going to be happy and living your committed life together for the end of time for you, okay? Otherwise, of course, if it's not, you're not moving on with your person, you're leaving them, you're going to be finding commitment, a very strong, enduring, lifelong commitment with someone else. That the Ace of Cups of love is coming into your life with the lovers, and this is going to be a balanced relationship for you because you took charge. Put this one here that's not working for you, an end to it, and it's transformed your life as a result. So guys, I hope that it was helpful to you. Take care of yourself and be safe. Bye. Hi Pile 3, welcome to your reading. You've chosen this card, putting in the work, action that helps achieve goals, building the path to success. Wonderful. Now, if you didn't choose this card to answer the question what your soul's message is to you today, because your soul's always speaking to you, then you used the numbers of 4 or 6. 4 and 6. Okay, and if it's not that, it was your zodiac signs. And we have Aries and Sagittarius with Aquarius and Capricorn. Okay, putting in the work. Let's find out what the Major Arcana has to say about that. Putting in the work. Hope you're all doing well. Put in the work. The Fool. Yeah, okay. Taking a leap of faith, not being an armchair astronaut. Okay, let's find out some clarification for the Fool. Oh, King of Cups, putting in the work. There. King of Cups, Fool. All right, let's get a Lenormand. 14, the cherry twilight of the fox. Okay, I'll read that in a moment. Then the telepathy oracle, putting in the work, action that helps achieve goals, building the path to success. And he's at his desk. He's working away. 11:11. I saw that today, and I saw it the day before, and the day before. 11:11 is an important number for twin flames, symbolizing harmony and balance in soulmates. Interesting. Twin flames, huh? 11:11. Might be a twin flame we're talking about here that your soul needs you to know about. Putting in the work. You know, yeah, okay, I'm already getting it. Cleanse. This is more, I'm thinking that this is going to be more of the divine feminine, like as the cross-watcher reading. Because generally, divine masculines who need to put in the work yet to be in touch with their feelings for you, the divine feminine, take that leap of faith, is not going to be watching the tarot card reading, for the most part. Because they're busy hiding, right? Trying to be, hiding their feelings, being deceptive, no, I don't love you. No, I don't want to be with you. I want to be something else. They need a cleansing, a serious cleansing. They need a serious cleansing. They need to put that hard work in. And this cleansing would be like to be in, to hear their heart beating for you and not denying it, not suppressing it, or not telling you. They need to be able to allow their ego, their fears to be tamed so that they can come, rise above and be refreshed in the knowledge of what their heart, who their heart really is for, who their heart really is pining for, pounding for, beating for. Okay, building the path to success, putting in the work. It's interesting that it's kind of like we got a career card here, but we're talking about love. That's what we're talking about, guys. So if this isn't your reading, you might want to try one of the other piles. But your soul here for pile number 3 has got a very important message for you about love. Okay, let's find out more about what that is. That there. 8 of Spears. I think that's the 8 of Swords, but hang on, I got to get my book open to find that. Spears is Swords, yes. So 8 of Swords. 8 of Swords. Caught up in your head. Worrying, confused, just ruminating. Will they or won't they? Why don't they? 7 of Branches, 7 of Wands. There's some healthy boundaries right there. Needing to put up some healthy boundaries. Maybe for yourself. Others, maybe. 7 of Stones, 2 sevens. Wow. 7 of Stones is the 7 of Pentacles, looking back at the past and maybe seeing the mistakes they've been making. Yeah, okay. I think, I have a feeling we're going to be talking about this reading as though I'm talking to the actual divine masculine. Whereas I said, even though it's going to be a reading for the divine masculine, it's really going to probably be watched only by the divine feminines, but I can't say for sure. But 5 of Tides is 5 of Cups. 5 of Cups, yeah. I'm just going to bring them all out and then I'll talk. 8 of Stones is the 8 of Pentacles. Putting the work in. Putting the work in. 8 of Tides is the 8 of Cups. Walking away, 2 8s beside each other. Knight of Spears, Knight of Swords. It's the fastest moving. Notice it's on a plane. Here. It's a cockpit. And they're headed into the mountains. Yeah. Okay. And Death card. Alright. With the Hierophant. Alright. Answering to the one master, the boss here, answering to the one master. Knight of Branches, Knight of Wands, yeah, about the Knight of Wands energy perhaps. The Magician, mastering, manifesting, the 7 of Tides. The Tides again, the Cups, 7 of Cups. Coming clear on what it is that they really want to manifest. Because the Sun, Page of Wands, and the 9 of Pentacles. Yes. Hello. Let's find out what, first, I want to find out what Fox is in the Cherry Twilight. The Cherry Twilight is the red number. If it was a white 14, that's change, by the way, because 14 adds to 5. It's change. The white number is called the lilac twilight, and the cherry twilight is the red number. So let's see here. Cherry twilight, significant losses, damages, serious differences, conflict of interest, and enmity. So if it's a lilac, if it was a white number, it would be intrigue, agility, dexterity, deceit, a cunning woman, and small losses. So we're talking about, it's not a cunning woman, that's for sure, because it's not the lilac twilight, it's a cherry. So I think we could be talking about the divine masculine here. The significant losses, damages, serious differences, conflict of interest, and enmity. So it could be that in their life is not going well. Because, you know, when you refuse to follow your heart, when we people refuse to follow our hearts, we invite calamity. We invite everything, we invite, you know, we also have good things, but it's always like it's teetering on whether or not it could be something that could be sustained or long lasting, you know, because it's teetering. It's not going to feel like it's something that we can really just hang on to. It's going to be like sand through your fingers, or, you know, it's just going to slip through your fingers and you can't really grab it and hold on to it. So yeah, pardon me, my battery went out. Yep, it gets to that point in time after I do 2 readings. The 3rd reading comes along, next thing you know, my battery's dead. So anyways, let's carry forward. We got this energy here where it's like, what it was saying, that it was destructive. It was great losses, right? Significant losses, damages, serious differences, conflict and interest. So when someone's not living their life by listening to their heart, they're denying their heart, not saying their truth, speaking their truth of how they feel towards someone or something. Someone we're talking about this time, it would be someone. That would be the DM, the DF, the divine feminine. Divine masculine, you need to put the work in. You need to clear some things up. You need to be able to reach in and say, you know what, I don't feel like I'm being honest with myself here. The action that helps achieve goals, building the path to success, is by listening to your heart, by taking a leap of faith, taking that risk to follow your heart. Because to get in touch with your heart, to be emotionally available to someone that matters to you in your life, even though you might be suppressing it and saying, no, I can't possibly be in love with that person because I have this other person, okay, or I just, they live in a different part of the world and it just wouldn't be practical, it wouldn't work, someone, you know, we couldn't make it work because of government restrictions or money, you know, work and stuff like that. So you might be in denial about that because it would just be too hard, too difficult, not practical enough, too much work to try to figure out how to make it happen. Right? So that's why we're in the cherry twilight energy, is because you are divine masculine. For pile 3, you are feeling the urge, the nudges from the divine, maybe seeing signs, maybe seeing 1111 a lot on your clock from day to day, because 1111 is an important number for twin flames, symbolizing harmony and balance and soulmates. You have a deep soulmate, one that you've been in many different lifetimes with, and you have the opportunity in this lifetime to actually reunite with them, to make that union happen. But if you continue to stay in, I can't make this happen, it would be too much, don't have enough money, I don't have enough, motivation, I don't have enough time, or whatever it is, You might be saying, I don't have enough love, but you do. You got enough love. It's there in your heart. It's completely there. It's just a matter of you being honest with yourself, cleansing yourself of the foxy energy, of the deceptive energy, bringing out the truth, bringing up the truth, so that you are actually following your intuition, not only your intuition, but following your heart. You know, whenever you have a moment to think, your mind wanders back to that time you were with her. Okay? Her or him. I guess it could be, divine masculine, divine feminine. It's not a gender thing. So it could be same sex as well. So if you're a man, divine masculine, there could be a divine feminine who's also a man that is your twin flame. Okay. So anyways, we'll just pretend it's man and woman because it just makes it easier. Instead of me saying, also if you're this, you're that, if you, okay, so Eight of Swords is you have been in a lot of conflict within yourself. Your own fears of having feelings for this person. You had developed some feelings for this person, and you just, it kind of scares you because, if you got feelings for someone else, but you're committed to somebody else, what's that going to do to your life? What's that going to do to your relationship, your marriage, your life, your kids, everything, if that's the situation you're in? It's going to, you eventually either you're going to be very unhinged and unhappy because you've got this love for someone else that you've developed these feelings for, and you think of them a lot. You can't get them off your mind. Yet you're with somebody else that you are saying you love them and that they would never be anyone else you'd want to be with. But at some point in time, you decided you were going to go out and play a little bit, even though you were with someone else. With the Knight of Wands energy. And that's when you met your counterpart. You met your counterpart, and whether you were with them for a short period of time or a long period of time, you developed feelings for them that you have been since denying. Okay? And the Seven of Wands is like, it's kind of like, let's just pretend the wands that other people are poking at you, it's not people. Let's pretend it's not people. It's actually your consciousness. Your conscience. Yes. It's your conscience poking at you. But you've been standing your ground and saying, get back, get back, get back, get back. It doesn't, quit telling me I'm in love with somebody else. Quit telling me I have feelings for someone else. Poke, poke, poke. Quit telling me that. I'm standing here with my wand and I'm going to tell you that I'm not. That it's very, impractical for me to be in love with that person. For this reason, that reason, because you'll have reasons, right? So the Seven of Stones is the Seven of Pentacles. But this is you looking back at the past because you can't help yourself. It's going to come up, but you're going to try and push it down as quickly as possible because it makes you feel kind of bad. Makes you feel bad. It might make you feel guilty. It might make you feel a bit of shame. It might make you feel like imbalanced because you've got these thoughts and feelings for this other person, but at the same time, you're promised to someone else. And so the Seven of Stones is you looking back at the mistakes you've made, which, number one was playing the field. When you had a little bit of freedom, possibly when you were at work, that your job gave you that opportunity to mingle with other people that you might have been attracted to. And you met this one. It could have been online with the computer. You may have met somebody through just some kind of messaging program or dating, online dating platform, that kind of thing, where Again, you could be single and wanting to date, and you went online to eHarmony or whatever, and you met them that way, but then they were all the way across in Romania or something like that, and you live in the United States. And you're thinking, this isn't going to work. We seem to have a lot in common, quite compatible. I would really enjoy, maybe I was able to fly and spend a weekend with them. And I just, we really hit it off, and I find they're very attractive. But, I live in the United States, they live in Romania, they got their life there, I have my life here. And, I don't love them, I just went there to just have some fun, But then you get home, and all you can do is think about that time. Seven of Pentacles, looking at the past. Looking at the past and seeing the mistakes you made along the way, that with the Five of Tides, with the Five of Cups, it's like you're feeling regretful and remorseful for a number of different reasons. Likely regretful that you even did that because you're committed to somebody else, or that you met somebody that you can't even be with if you're single, and you met somebody online and you can't even be with them anyways because maybe they're married, but they're still your counterpart, even though they may be married in a relationship. So, it's like you have these feelings, but you've got to suppress them because it's just for practical reasons, it's not plausible to you. But it is to a person who's got a heart that is crying out for the union with that person. It doesn't matter what kind of things that seems implausible or impractical. When you're in love with somebody, you move mountains. You go through hell if you have to. You do it because that person is the only one that is making your heart tick in reality. So then we have the Eight of Stones. That's the Eight of Pentacles, right? So this is putting the work in to what? Bring some clarity into, so that you can see how you've been deceiving yourself, which of course means you're deceiving the other one because you're telling them that you're not interested. Eight of Tides is what again? Is Eight of Tides, Eight of Cups, walking away. Knight of Spears, Knight of Swords, coming in fast, speaking your truth, put an end to something to transform your life, following your God, like seeking tradition, or like seeking some kind of authority, help, assistance, some kind of thing, their guidance. Maybe seeking the government for how it would work if you were to relocate to be with them, because this Knight of Pentacles or Knight of Wands is also traveling card. So you may be seeking with the government agencies in that country, if you're living abroad, that how can you immigrate, kind of thing. How will it work for you? How much money does it cost? How much time it takes? That kind of thing. And manifesting that those opportunities for you to be able to leave the whole state of being confused and living in a fantasy, because all it is, when it's a Seven of Pentacles, you're looking back at the past, it's a fantasy of your time with them now, because you're not actually physically experiencing it. It's got to just be a fantasy now, an illusion, really, because what was, but now it's like it's not that. So it's just got to be something in the mind now that you're just reliving a nice time, a romantic time, a sexy time, whatever, with this person that you've caught some feelings for. You want the sun, you want the happiness, just like anyone else. You want to be stable, you want to be happy, you want to be able to feel, your heart tick and your desires, and move towards your motivations, have a new opportunity, a new beginning to strike out and be with that person, to speak your truth to them. The Nine of Stones, that's you, like you are going to be making yourself available Knight of Stones, Nine of Pentacles. Making yourself available by being independent. So what does that mean to you? If you're with somebody, it means that you're leaving that relationship to follow your heart. Okay, your twin flame. If you're not single, or if you're not in a relationship and you're single, it's just been the what do you call it? Just the things that get in the way. I can't think of the word. Oh my God. But it's the mechanical parts of it, right? That you got to figure out. You got to sort out all the mechanical parts of it to make something work that you just said, oh no, that's too much work. I can't, I don't love her that much. I don't love him that much. I can't possibly love him that much to upheaval your own life, because it's death and transformation. Stay in that denial, right? Not follow your heart. Not speak your truth. Allow yourself to speak how you feel to that person, taking that leap of faith, that risk to do that, not doing it, right? You're going to be independent, meaning you're going to independently rise up and say, I'm following my heart. I'm going to be independent, moving towards somebody that I want to be in union with. In other words, I am the Nine of Pentacles, someone who is very well off, who is independent, yes, single, right? Single, independent, but somebody who goes after what it is that they want. Nine of Pentacles. Because it's the Ten of Pentacles after that. The Eight of Pentacles before that is right here, right? Stones. Eight of Stones right here, putting the work in to make it possible. Make it a reality. You're going to do what you can do to make it a reality, and then you'll have the Ten of Pentacles life. That, long-term commitment and prosperity and abundance is all good things. It will be like, yay, hallelujah, I'm with my twin flame. We're meant to be together. The time that we've been apart, we both had to grow. You most recently needed to step up and start growing, to step out of this energy of major losses in your life because you haven't been following your heart. You haven't been listening to your heart. You hadn't been. But the divine, your soul's speaking to you all the time, and what it wants to say to you today, your message today is that it's time for you to stand up and start paying attention to what your heart is saying, because you have happiness and all this beautiful energy to experience after you put an end to being reticent about following your heart. Put an end to being reticent about following your heart, and the Divine's going to see this happen, because this is a major arcana card. Divine is all over this. So if you don't put an end to being reticent about following your heart and going towards the one that you just can't get off your mind, thinking back to all the time, having those heart pings in your chest about, if you don't walk away from being reticent and move towards quickly with your sword held high, your truth held high, towards the person that needs to hear the truth, that you love them, that you want to be with them, and that you're willing to leave all of it behind, whether you're with somebody or not. You're willing to leave that behind for happiness. If you don't do that, the Divine, it's going to end up what it is. It's just like you're creating karma, and the karmic debt that you got to pay off for not being true to yourself is like, when you're not true to yourself, true to your heart, you're actually being, it's kind of like it's involuntarily being unkind. And when we're unkind, we build up karmic debt. Okay, so be kind to yourself, follow your truth, get whatever it is that you need to do, Divine Masculine, straight in your mind, so that you can say, yes, I'm with this person, I do love them, I care for them a lot, or maybe you don't, but I'm with them. I care for them, but I'm not being fair to her or him, and because I'm not being true to myself. They could do so much better with somebody else who will be true to them, who might be true to them, because I am not able to be fully on board with my feelings for them because I've met this other person that I just can't get off my mind. There's got to be something to do with that. So if you need to, do some research on twin flames and make sure you see the signs. If you see 1111, that's your soul saying to you, remember me? Remember the reading that you watched or didn't watch? Because Divine Masculine is likely not watching this reading, but you never know. I can't say for sure. But remember your heart. Remember how your heart is speaking to you, which is me speaking to you, saying, your soul is saying to you, all I want for you is to be happy. To be happy and to live your life truthfully so that you can truly become inwardly happy with your outward circumstances. Okay? You make yourself happy by following your heart's true desires, so ripping the mask off of not being, living a lie, because you've got feelings for somebody else. You rip that mask off and you're going to have all the sunshine. Eventually, you will have all the sunshine, because it's a journey. You're going to have to make a lot of changes in your life. It's not going to feel good. Sometimes it's not going to feel good at all. And you might have to answer a lot of questions that you don't want to answer, but it's all worth it when it comes down to being with the person you belong with in this life, in this world. Okay, DM or DF cross watchers, that's for you. Take care of yourself. Bye for now.